what's going on with bands? I can see them all playing competitive algorithmic games at the minute. Titles which are designed to hook you in, to make them appear whatever light they want to as underdogs, as alternative to the mainstreams, whatever drags people in. Often it's like an emotional hook, there's a narrative hook. But then it's really suspect when you see things that are mimetic. So you'll see like a title of a video that seems really personable and personal to the person watching it. And then you see it again in another video in another band, completely unrelated, but the same meme. And then there'll be another one a few days later, next day, next week, whatever. So everyone's playing the game, and they're getting more and more hyper whilst doing it, and trying to get into the algorithm in whatever way they see fit, and they're adapting to it. And it's almost like an adaptable book that they're reading off at the moment. And there's probably online courses and advice and consultations that bands, artists can undertake. And it's all a bit sad. All really desperate for eyes, ears on their content. And it's understandable at the same time, because that's the value these days. That's where the value's held, is having eyes and ears on the content, having attention market. And maybe there's an attention deficit because there's so much to consume out there. It's totally oversaturated. But to me, it just feeds into the fear of bands and artists, and that's AI taking over music to some extent. We are setting AI up. We're giving it the platform, we're giving it the information, we're acting like AI. It's really odd. So I don't understand why people, bands, artists, don't just, I guess, really be authentic and be themselves, not in a prescribed marketing way, but just genuinely be themselves. I can answer that, of course. Maybe it doesn't get the attention, maybe it won't be very popular. But I really like the idea of people showing their workings, showing their processes, showing the mistakes, fluffing their parts, fluffing their play. And that's what I do when I'm working on an idea. If I'm improvising in the kitchen, I don't know what's going to happen. And often I feel my way into the piece that's unraveling. Tempos start to change. It's also a good excuse for speeding up, I suppose. But you find your way into it, and your fingers kind of adapt, but sometimes not quick enough. Words come to mind, and sometimes you just let the words trip off the tongue. But a lot of the time it's complete gobbledygook. It doesn't make sense, and that's absolutely fine. And that's one way I kind of write songs. If there's something in it, I'll take it away and work on it. So it's kind of nice to show what you're doing. But I see bands and artists creating a load of nonsensical, shallow theatre at the minute, again to feed the algorithm, to draw people into what they're doing. And it's understandable, but it's leading us down to a path that surely we don't want. So there's an irony to that. Is there an answer? As I said, I think we can be upfront, we can be honest, we can show what we're doing and show our processes, show our weaknesses, and be authentic, genuinely authentic, not marketing authentic, but genuinely authentic to who we are. And not have to claim that we're some sort of musical geniuses in some way. I think there's this incredible pressure on people, on musicians, on bands and artists, or whatever line of craft it is they're doing. There's an incredible pressure to be amazing and to be able to do things without any mistake. And that's just not reality. unless Prince, of course, rest in peace. I'd imagine he was in the pocket. I imagine he kind of thought things through things really, really quickly, almost instinctually, and probably been playing since the year dot, and was just so instinctual with what he did. I'm sure he never ramped up tempos. That might be wrong, but I'm sure he was just in the pocket and didn't fluff things because he was just executing things as they came to his mind, and had just such a musical ability. I don't have that, so I will fluff things and I'll mess things up. And 99.99% of people will fluff things up as well. So why don't we show that? Why do we have to have this polished exterior all the time? Don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place to kind of realize a creative vision. I think that's equally as important as well, alongside showing what we're doing. I guess ultimately AI will not show those processes. It won't show the mess ups unless you program it to. And if you want to see AI do that, well, I don't know who would want to see AI do something like that anyway, because it lacks that humanity. And as human beings, I think we can show that the human side of creativity. Yeah, anyway, back to the idea of the polished stuff and realizing your creative vision and whatnot. That's equally as important, but I think it's the journey to get into those places. And those places are often very intimate, and they take, hours and days and weeks and sometimes months and years for people to realize, the amount of time they will go into a song, from the initial incarnation of a song to then finishing that song off, lyrics and structure, then cut up with the arrangement parts and the recording, and then mix it and then mastering and whatnot. It takes ages. So what about all the bits in between? So that's my thoughts at the minute. I think we're driving ourselves absolutely mad on the chase for attention, and I think it lacks any integrity as well. So yeah, that's my morning thought. Let's drink a cuppa to integrity.